That will give you access to the slide deck as we move through there. Thank you, Shayla. So you can follow along with us and then also access some of the links as we move through our work today. Oops, and let me view our presentation. Okay. So for our warm welcome today, what we're going to do is have you guys think back to our Module 2 session on learning conditions and think about how did you authentically incorporate strategies from Module 2 learning conditions. And I know that was a while ago. So thinking about authentic opportunities in your classroom was what it was surrounded, that module was surrounded around. And if you didn't, in the bottom it kind of says there, if you didn't attend session 2, answer the question instead, how do you provide students authentic opportunities to explore and apply their learning? So think about one of those 2 questions and then pop it in the chat for us. We're going to use that to get started as our warm welcome. And Brian, did you start the screen recording? Cool.
I don't see that it's recording on my side. Oh, but you're doing Screencastify. Got it.
So yeah, what we're doing right now is thinking about this question and just put in the chat if you can, about how you provide students authentic opportunities to explore and apply their learning. So what things are you already doing in your classroom, or what did you take away from our last session in there? Thanks, Christina, sharing. My kids made Google presentations about themselves. Awesome. Great way to connect with your students and share the class. All right, I'm going to move to the next one. If you feel, if you want to add those to the chat as we move on, please feel free to. Next one is just us introducing ourselves. So I'm Brittany Horton. I am digital coach for elementary schools in the Southeast region.
Hi, I'm Matthew Willems, and I help the central region schools, currently as both elementary and secondary.
I'm Shayla Williams. I am the elementary digital coach for the far northeast region.
Sorry, I might not have unmuted her fast enough. That's Shayla. I'm Caitlin Bott. I am the Southwest Elementary Digital Coach.
And I'm Brian Dino. I'm the coach for Northwest Elementary Region.
Awesome. And I'm just going to revisit before I move on to the next slide. Roy and Amy both got a chance to share that Roy's saying I think it's important for students to share to see artists that look like themselves. So when creating content, I have students create things that relate to their culture. For example, now we're working on creating story quilts. Awesome. And Amy shared teachers in our school have students bring in family pictures that are posted in their classrooms and shared out. Great.
All right, slide 5. You may see this slide a number of times. The district is very focused on 3 transition priorities. You may already have seen these. We're very focused on equity. We're trying to address the learning conditions from our COVID year and accelerate learning. And we're also being very focused intentionally on social, emotional, and mental health. Hopefully all of those are very familiar to you already. This is all captured within our long-term foundation in instructional excellence theory of action. Hopefully you have seen the teacher mindsets already. We're looking at high expectations, grade level tasks. We're looking at culturally and linguistically responsive instruction, and also ensuring that students receive feedback that supports their advancing learning. The feedback portion of these mindsets is what we're really focusing on today. Student voice is what we're hoping to hear more of. So we've re-envisioned our approach. There are some universally implemented issues for the 2020 or 21-22 school year. In equity, we have the Black Excellence and Success of Multilingual Learners. In the acceleration column, we have planning for culturally and linguistically responsive education through the instructional core. And I always wondered, what's the core? And that's usually just the core subjects of language, English, speaking, reading, writing, math is often put in there. And then also our social, emotional, and mental health column, we are addressing that. There's a pilot currently that uses a curriculum called Mosaic, and that's addressed in our TCO practices, transformative social emotional learning. And then there are local choices around equity, PL coherence, supporting employees for SEL practices, and a number of others that you have seen down there. Some of those are probably very top of the line for your school, but we are working on things. Every year we have new approaches, and this is where we are this year. Alicia, I think you're on this one.
So this is how you will get credit. So please go to the website and make sure
I
you
think you're
complete the
muted.
survey. You haven't done it?
Unmute, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm getting the meeting situation set up. So this is just how you will get credit. Please make sure and take the survey to get credit for this session. And there's a link here.
Listing online tools on the academic technology menu. That's atm.dpsbaseball.org. The image here is linked to a video. It's only about 30 seconds long. If you want to see how to add items to your own list of online tools. If you have questions about that or you want some support, just reach out to your digital coach and we'd be happy to help you get things on there.
All right, so for the CRE mindset focus that we're gonna look into today is global context, and that is working to dismantle systems of power and privilege that impact our students, ourselves, and our practices in the classroom, and we're gonna tie that into student feedback for this module.
So our focus, as Shayla just said, is global context. We will be focusing on DPS Practice 3, helping students to develop the knowledge, skills, and values needed to become social critics who can make reflective decisions and implement their decisions in an effective personal, social, political, and economic action. So we're using Key Action 3, which is about feedback, in order to support that practice.
Okay, so the three strategies that we are going to focus on in this module, strategy 1 is getting feedback from students to teachers, and we're going to use resources such as Google Forms, Jamboard, Google Slides, and audience tools, and then Seesaw for K-5. And then for strategy 2 is focusing on feedback from the teacher to the student using the fast feedback protocol, giving feedback in Pear Deck, giving feedback in Seesaw, and then leveraging Google Drive, and using some of those tools within Google Drive for student to teacher feedback. And then the third strategy is focused specifically on peer-to-peer feedback using the SPARK model, peer feedback in Flipgrid, Seesaw, and then showing you how to use comments, suggestions, tagging, and rubrics within Google Documents for that peer-to-peer feedback.
All right, for those of you that have been in our PLs before, we're gonna have a similar layout or format today. There are 3 60-minute breakout sessions. You're going to choose which one you prefer to be in. One coach will be in the breakout room showing you the strategy and will be available to answer questions and provide support for you. The most important piece for us today is that in this breakout room, we wanna make sure that most of your time is spent workshopping. We wanna be able to give you the opportunity to create using the resources and tools that we've provided in this session. And then after that breakout session, there will be about a 5-minute debrief that we would love for you to come back to this original meet. If you decide to stay in strategy 2, I believe, is where you will just stay inside the same meet. But we would like to make sure that you come back and debrief with us as well. So this will be where you're going to find the link for which strategy you'd like. That's on slide 14. But Brittany, or if you will go back to just the overview, take a moment, kind of peep in there and see which strategy breakout room you'd like to go into, and then pop into that Google Meet, and your coach will meet you there.
Which strategy one, right?
2.
2.
So again, links for which strategy group you'd like to join is on slide number 14. And then you can just pop into those Google Meets when you're ready. Yes, Christina, go ahead.
I know you don't want me to do this right now, but I couldn't find the survey.
Okay, that's okay. So we will pop it back in actually at the end as well. And then if for whatever reason you're not able to get in, if you weren't able to sign up in Learning Space or whatnot, I think you said you signed up twice, so you have. But the survey and such we will actually put back into the breakout or the chat at the end when we come back to debrief.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also placed the tiny URL back into the chat one more time, just so you could get access to the slide deck to then go to slide, when we say 14, to get those links for the breakout rooms as well.
What time should we have everyone back in this?
Oh, good question. What time did we decide we're gonna meet back, Brittany and Brian?
I have it on the slide deck. Hold on 1 second.
I believe it's 9:40 a.m., I think.
9:40? Okay.